Good afternoon and welcome to the very first episode of Men's Talk with Trevor Minto. So this is a lifestyle show for men, but not one about pretending that we've got it all figured out. It's about slowing things down and having real conversations and really thinking honestly about how we live, how we cope, and how we show up in our own lives. So a bit about me. So I said I'm Trevor. I've had over 40 years experience in health and social care, and with a majority of my experience in mental health. So for me, I've sat with men in moments where everything felt stripped back. Identity, confidence, direction. But I've also been in those spaces where I've seen and helped men to rebuild their lives quietly and steadily. So today it's not about saying that we've got it all together and we're going to be fixing anything. Not at all. But it's simply about looking at that question. What does it actually mean for men to show up at their best? Being real on a day-to-day basis. We're not perfect. We're not here to impress. We're just here being present. So, I've got a guest, but before we go into that, we're just going to go into a little bit of music.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to face, and when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. I just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be
I'm really pleased to be joined today by someone who brings together physical health, mental well-being and a real-world experience. He's a GP by profession, someone who genuinely lives what he talks about, from fitness and endurance to everyday work-life balance. He's taken on big physical challenges and he's written several books and has seen firsthand how men's physical and mental health are deeply connected. But more than that, he simply understands people. So, welcome to the show, Dr. Wilson Orhiunu.
Thank you very much for having me here, and thank you for giving an opportunity to discuss such an important topic.
Nice having you. So listen, before we get into any little deepy stuff, right, just tell me, what's your favourite sport?
My favorite sport will have to be football. To watch, not to participate in, to watch.
To watch, okay.
Yeah.
Then, so at what age did you develop an interest in football?
Football, I think when I was about 6 in primary school, we all played football before the school started. I used to be a goalkeeper then, quite good. And, I think 6, 7 really got into football. And I played every weekend.
Okay. So who's your favourite team at the moment?
I have people. You might find it strange. I support about 5 teams in the Premiership. Aston Villa is the closest to my house, so Aston Villa, Man United, and Arsenal.
Okay, cool. So listen, okay. So when you hear the phrase "showing up at your best," what does that actually mean to you? What does it actually mean? And especially, I suppose over time, you've really kind of sort of developed better, best versions of yourself. Yeah. So, okay, so what does that term mean?
Showing up means a few things, about 6 things. First, you need to show up physically in health. Then there's the mental and emotional aspect that you need to show up on point. Skill and knowledge must be on point. You need to show up fully skilled, especially in the work environment. And then socially, you need to show up socially, knowing what's going on. If you basically say good afternoon to people when you see them in the afternoon, smile and have good relationships with people. And then your mindset and your attitude, that has to be important because the world is changing and you must have a learning mindset so that whatever change you encounter, you're willing to learn and make changes to yourself. So there must be that attitude of constant learning and constant change in the mindset.
I like what you're saying there, and that's something that sometimes men, we can perhaps have difficulty in doing, and that's having a changing or a changed mindset. When you've got a good mindset, one way you feel that you are developing, that can also go towards enhancing one's self-esteem. So how important, just to elaborate on the having a changed mindset, how important is that for men in today's world to have a changing mindset?
Because the world changes very quickly and your role and position in that world might change. One, you need to recognize changes as they occur and then be available to be taught about the new things. So that means a bit of humility to learn, and if your actions are criticized, the humility to take on board what is being advised or suggested without being defensive and arguing, because the minute you become argumentative, you scare away your teachers and you remain the way you are, and you become obsolete. So that attitude of ever learning is very good. I mean, like singers know this. A new song comes, you go for choir practice, you have to learn it, and somebody has to teach you. The minute you say, I'm learning nothing new, you'll sing the same old good songs you've known, but you'll never get anything new. So
tell me about it.
That's about an analogy with life. AI has come, and some people will learn and others won't, and those who don't will become a bit slow.
So just bringing it to your profession and as a GP, as a doctor, no doubt sometimes you see the same patient coming back and again and again and again, and especially if you've given them a directive, it could be, okay, I'm giving you this prescription, yeah, and they come back for review, they haven't taken it, say. That attitude changing the old beliefs about maybe treatment programs as it relates to their health and well-being, they haven't taken it on board. Generally, do you find men are more ready and willing to act on this advice to change, to better themselves?
With regards to health advice generally, I think women may be better at accepting change for the simple reason that they are nurturers and carers of children. So most of the visits to the GP involving children will be moms bringing children. And obviously they've been pregnant, and when you're pregnant, most pregnant women will have learned that you take advice from your obstetrician. You don't go there and start arguing. Sure. And you definitely don't argue in the labor ward. So most women would have had that experience of dealing with the health service and hearing things that require change and modification. Also looking after parents and taking parents for appointments. Women do it more. So even though they're caring for others, they can apply it to themselves. So they practice that art of listening to things, researching, and making adjustments. Reasonable adjustments. So life is all about adjustments. As you get older, your body's changing, you need to adjust. So men do change, but you find it's a bit slower.
Slower. Is it because perhaps as men we lack the confidence to wanting to change? Do we believe that we can change? I know that's maybe a bit kind of generalistic.
Yeah, I mean, if I use a practical example, as a gentleman came with a health condition, and I told him to see his GP about a blood test, and he told me he has a busy job. He works 6 days a week, and he has no time. Now, there is that pressure to fulfill a role as provider in the home, and he probably is taking some overtime. So usually when people have fulfilled a role and see themselves in that role for a long time, they need to be reminded that the health is important, because if you collapse, you won't be able to do that role. So part of showing up is your physical health, you and your mental health. So we remind people that even though you love to do 20 shifts a week, you need to be physically fit enough to do it. And if you don't take care of your health, you'll collapse and not be able to do it. So it tends to happen when people have a role and they are strong and they forget they've not had a break.
Okay, so people, I'm going to see you on the other side, but it's very kind of sort of appropriate now that we play this song that's coming up next. A change is going to come.
As around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows love's the cure, rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always. love are guaranteed to last through forever and another day. Just as time knew to move on since the beginning, and the seasons know exactly when to change. Just as kindness knows no shame, nothing for your joy and pain. But I'll be loving you always. As the day I know I'm living but tomorrow, but makes me the past, but that I mustn't fear. For I'll know deep in my mind the love of me I've left behind. 'Cause I'll be loving you always. Until the day is night and night becomes a day. Always. Until the trees and seas just stop and fly away. Always. Until the day that ain't got late is full. Always. Until the day that is the day that I no more. Did you know you loved by somebody? It's not turning right to left. Always. Just for the sun and not the sun. I'll be loving you forever. Nature says the work is through. Always. Until the day that you are me and I.
Fitness comes up a lot when we talk about men's confidence, but it can also feel loaded. Oh my gosh, that dreaded gym again. Do I need to take out a gym membership? I hate it. I don't like the discipline of it. Oh my gosh, what if I go there and I'm not as henched as the other man that is, on his and then that can sort of make one feel a bit kind of coward, a bit kind of reserved, not wanting to do anything. But for you, the role fitness in your own life then, Dr. Wilson, how big or small a role or position does fitness play in your own life?
Physical activity plays a big role in my life. I have interest in dance, so to dance you need to be physically fit, and that means I'm interested in strength, agility and flexibility, which needs practice. So by way of exercise, I'm a runner, so I run, and when I'm too tired to run, I walk. So we need to be practical here, and when the weather's very bad, I'll do my running or walking on the treadmill in the gym, and I tend to exercise every day.
So in terms of some of your own kind of sort of feat, you said that you are a runner, so is that you just running around the park, or have you done any other activities which are of interest?
I do the Birmingham Half Marathon yearly, and I've done the London Marathon I think 3 or 4 times, New York Marathon, Paris Marathon twice, Lagos City Marathon twice. So I do the big races because they sort of give you motivation to train. But even without those big races, I try to do something every day.
Every day, okay.
Yeah.
So other than running, you have also been involved in some other kind of strenuous, well, I say strenuous and quite scary activities as well. You've done some mountain trekking and all that?
Yes, I did go to Kilimanjaro a few years ago, Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, Africa. I didn't quite make the summit, but it was quite a good experience because you're in an environment where you usually are not in, and you do a lot of learning, meet new people. So it was quite good. I've also been to the Atlas Mountains and a mountain in Nigeria. They're all interesting. Help keep your adventure spirit up. So it keeps you from being bored.
So of those mountains that you have sort of climbed, which is your favorite?
It'll be Kilimanjaro.
What was that?
It's the highest peak in Africa.
Wow.
It's got beautiful scenery. So
Okay, so do you feel that there's a correlation, there's a link between one's physical activities and one's emotional, mental health as well as for men in particular?
yes, a bit of an indirect relationship, but if you are physically fit, there's less chances of illness, and illness will always make you feel down. So the fitness gives you confidence, and if you do endurance sports when you're on your job, it gives you that strength to do the job, especially if you have to work long hours. With relaxation, going on a long walk, being in nature helps to relax the mind. I always tell patients that the sky is blue and the ocean's blue, and looking at blue tends to relax your mind. So going on a boat, going by the sea, are all relaxing things. Which the fitter you are, the more chances you'll be willing to travel and get involved in adventure. Some people do go abroad, but because if the health is not good, you might not be able to go on the tours. So it always helps to be reasonably fit, because sometimes you go on some tours and you'll find a lot of steps you were not expecting with no lift. So the fitness generally enhances how much you enjoy your life.
Yeah, I readily can recall I went to Athens recently, and one particular spot that we went to, oh my gosh, there were so many steps. I thought, no, I think heaven is going to meet me, before I wanted to really. So for men who are afraid of such challenges, whether it's going to the gym, going on a hike, going mountain climbing, they just feel scared, anxious about the thought. Is there any tips that you could perhaps give to them to help them to perhaps change that? We were talking about mindsets earlier on, that particular mindset.
If for people who are not used to doing adventures, I'll say the first thing to do is just to go on walks, because if you aim for a few thousand steps a day and get used to that habit, develop the tone in the legs to be able to do it, it just grows from there. And things interesting which you might want to consider later, you could watch the videos on YouTube and just get a feel of activity from a distance. But walking is just a simple way to get the circulation moving and shift your mind from where you are, because if you're at home, you'll probably be watching the telly or reading. So, but when you go out and see other people, it's a different vibe. You're seeing people, and it's more social. So, I think walking, just put on your trainers and go out the house and walk for 30 minutes is as simple as it gets.
So, men, remember at the beginning of the show, I said it's not about us having arrived. You know what I mean? It's not about perfection. It's about, as we're also saying, about checking our minds, checking our current state of mind, where are we at, and taking those small tentative steps. You know what I mean? It's not about extremes. It's just about taking those small steps but being consistent. So consistency, how important is also consistency in what we do?
Yeah, it's absolutely important. It's better to do little regularly than do big things and then never do them again. So at the beginning of the year, we're in January, some people might say, this year I want to improve X, Y, Z. But people will have very high, unattainable, goals, because and I think that boils down to TV, because people don't know how much they are socialized into having these unattainable goals. The problem I find with TV, I mean, I watch football. The problem with TV is you're watching people at peak fitness, at the peak age. And if you spend a whole week watching people in their 20s, 30s who are already talented and at peak form, performing, psychologically you start expecting yourself to be performing at that level. And the minute you try and you fail, you just stop. But watching people run like horses means nothing. You have to know those people are special at a given age, and even those same people in 10 years time will be slower than you.
Right.
So you need to find your own level and just accept your walk. You don't need to be as fast as people you're seeing on telly or as strong as people you're seeing, because you're just watching a snapshot of their whole life. You know.
Great. So, okay, guys, take it small, take it steady, but let's be consistent.
Yeah.
See you on the other side.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there, way beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. And I go to my brother, I say, hey brother, help me please. Yeah. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there were times that I thought I wouldn't last too long. Now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there were times that I thought I wouldn't last too long. Now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Said that change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. But I know is gonna come.
So, Dr. Wilson, you know something? What really worries me is that sometimes we as men, we just normalize feeling unwell. You know, just have this kind of, I'm unwell.
Yes.
And like it's just a part of life. So, at what point should men start paying particular attention?
I mean, it is true. Men sometimes will ignore pain and discomfort, which might, because they've been socialized, brought up to do this, to be the one who is strong. They might push through illness, push through stress or exhaustion, because a man's got to do what a man's got to do. They might avoid asking for help, and they might not want to be looked upon as the weak link or the vulnerable sort of limpletus. But if a man has a group of friends who he trusts, he could tell them, I'm having this pain, what do you think? You know, and then they might say, see your doctor. There's nothing wrong in checking, because if you're driving your car and you hear funny sound, you'll be at the garage. You won't be thinking, they might think I'm a vulnerable softie. If you hear a strange noise, you'll go and have it checked, because you don't want to be on the M6 and start seeing smoke coming out of the wrong place.
Sure.
So with your body, if you see something which is different, something that didn't used to happen before, it's a good idea to have it checked. It doesn't speak bad on your character. You're just doing what you're supposed to do, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, two words come to mind there: early signs and listening to your body. I know this particular talk is not about really diagnosing any particular kind of sort of physical health challenges or what have you, but generally, what are maybe some early signs that men could kind of sort of pay particular attention to?
The key thing is change. If something changes, you need to explain why it's changed and understand why. What I've found is men who live alone have a bigger problem, because they have no observer. You know, nobody's looking at them, and they tend to wait till it's really too late. But people who live with someone will tend to turn up at the surgery earlier, because I do have patients who will come in and say, Dr. XYZ, and we finish the consultation and examination, and they say, well, there's nothing really going on. And at that point he says, I told her, and she just pushed me to come out, you know. So he's been nagged to come.
Yeah.
So the people who have someone who would nag them have an advantage, because they are being looked at by somebody who cares for them.
Right.
So, and those people will not just accept being told, I'm breathless when I came upstairs.
Right.
They'll tell you, but you were not breathless 2 months ago.
Right.
Go to the doctor.
Right.
So even though the person tries to downplay that, oh, maybe I'm not fit, I'm not exercising, they'll just say, you need to go to the doctor. So having support will help. But the thing about some men is, if you go out drinking with some men or you socialize, they might not even notice you're gaining weight, or you might go up the steps and they might think, oh, you're a bit slow today, and laugh. But you need someone who will actually take action and tell you, look, you're not supposed to be breathless at the top of the stairs, or why are you going to the loo 5 times during the night? You kept me up. Go sort it out.
This thing about having somebody who knows you and can observe your behaviors regularly is so true. I was talking to someone only yesterday, and they were saying, that person there, they're very, very good at masking their behaviors. Yeah, it was in the area of a mental health situation, and the individual said, that person's very good at masking, but because I'm their friend, I know them, so I keep my eye on them. And there's that kind of sense of they'll challenge. Yeah, look, there's been a noticeable dip in your mood or whatever the presentation is, because left to that person, they wouldn't say.
Yes.
And somebody else, they'll just think, what they'll be masking, but their friend know you're masking.
Yes.
Yeah. Then there's this thing about men comparing ourselves to each other. You know, there's an adage that says, if you compare yourself to someone, you're not wise. Yeah, and men, we kind of either consciously or unconsciously do a lot of that. So how damaging can that be?
For me personally, I mean, comparing is part of life. I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad to compare.
Okay.
You know, there is an average temperature, there's an average blood pressure, and that's how we walk. We walk on averages. We compare everybody, find the average, and that's what you're supposed to be. And if you stick out from the mean, then something's wrong. So the whole life is about finding that average and not being outside the average. So we all compare, we all look at each other and compare. When it gets harmful is when you start to compete with someone, because when you compare, you notice a difference, and you need to ask yourself, this difference I have noticed, why have I noticed it? And there is no need to compete with people, because if you start competing without knowing how that person is the way they are, you'll just give yourself stress. And it has been found that there's a lot of stress with people going on social media, because all they do is look at Instagram, best versions of people, highly filtered photographs, doctored photographs, and start competing against an unrealistic image, and feeling that they can't come up to that image, and they feel defeated. So we shouldn't compete, but we should observe. You can't help it. You will observe what you see around you, but and you might get inspired. But when you start competing against people, you'll sort of fall short and feel bad about it.
Thank you for that, Doctor, because I've personally sort of learned something new, or that awareness has become more heightened. The difference between comparing, as you said, to competing. Yeah. I'll go and kind of mull that over, and I'll check out when I'm doing either or. Okay, guys, see you on the other side again.
Bend down low. Let me tell you what I know now. Bend down low. Yes, my friend. Mysteries out here. Yes, my friend.
It's really good for men to feel that they've found their position in life, their place in life, their niche in life. You know, it's good for us to recognize that, you know, something, I am good at something. You know what I mean? Whatever that something is. So, Dr. Wilson, what do you think that's important for men to have something that matters to them and feel that they're good at something? Why is that good?
It gives a sense of achievement when you look back at a day and realize you've done your best in your role. It could be your job, it could be your family. When you do something well as a man, that sense of fulfillment is good for your self-esteem. Now, self-esteem is subjective. There is no blood test to find out how high you estimate yourself. It's something you do in your own eyes in a very subjective way. So when you are able to complete task, especially when you do things which require skill, you almost, tap yourself on the back and you feel happy about yourself. And that sense of achievement is important to feel daily. It's something that will make you feel proud. And at the end of the day, you look back and you feel proud about it. One thing I've noticed that disturbs some people's self-esteem is when they wake up and seek entertainment. Maybe music, jokes, or whatever, scrolling on the internet. Entertainment is very good for people who've worked hard all day to relax the mind. But when you wake up and try to get entertained all day with no real achievement, you might have laughed here and there, but deep down you don't have that sense of fulfillment. So doing something which is sometimes hard, it has to require some effort. When you achieve some hard task and you complete, that sense of satisfaction is very important for your mental health.
So men then who feel directionless, lacking in purpose, then what could they do to find that sense of purpose, that sense of direction, instead of them just being a cabbage, potato, sofa, laden person just on there? What can they do?
It's like everything to do with the mindset. There is a growth mindset where people determine to improve. The minute somebody realizes that they have no purpose and they are not striving for anything, when they realize it, then they might start to improve, actually, because the minute you realize something, you're on your way halfway there. So you look around you and see who in your life has purpose. Who do you think carries on in life as if they have a deep down purpose and role? And then go close to them, study them, and try and copy what they do. Because to find your purpose in life, you might have to do some practice. You might practice with things that are not really your purpose. So, for instance, if you want to open a business, you might have to start with maybe sweeping the floor in another man's business and develop your punctuality, your consistency, your ability to say hello in the morning, social skills, even your ability to sweep well, clean the place up, get knowledge about cleanliness, and it becomes a habit. You now become teachable, and you might grow from there till one day you'll find out you have your own business to run.
Great. I mean, I find in my line of work, because I work in the area of mental health, and on many occasions I'll have men come and says, "Oh my gosh, got no purpose. I'm not good at anything," because they're looking so subjectively, and they themselves, because perhaps they're already feeling depressed, think, "I've got no worth. I can't do anything good," and what have you. And then sometimes I would have to say to them, "Well, okay, then that's how you might be feeling." But as anyone objectively said, "Oh, Trevor, I noticed that you've got these abilities, you've got these skills," and what have you. Because sometimes when, especially if you're very depressed, you have this kind of melancholic kind of sort of outlook on life. But then when someone can, and especially different people from different social backgrounds or different sets, says, "I notice you're like that. You've got this particular way about you. I've seen how you do that." You know, so I'm saying all this, sometimes you need someone else as well to acknowledge that particular gifting or skill or ability for you to then stop and think, "Oh, I've never seen it like that before."
Yeah. And what I have also noticed is this thing about entertainment. Usually people are entertained by people who are highly skilled and accomplished in a field. So if you spend all your time being entertained by highly skilled people, you will start to notice, perhaps I'm not highly skilled. But the thing is, the only reason that person is highly skilled is he's put in 10 hours practice. The only reason you are not highly skilled is you're putting in 10 hours entertainment. You're just watching people. So you watch the guitarist, then you watch the singer, then you watch the sports star, then you go back to the boxer. While you're watching one, the other one's practicing. So at the end of the day, when you're being entertained by people and you think they're highly skilled and they're good at something, remember that the person has put in the hours. So reading the biographies of people who you like also helps you to develop that sense that you must grow into what you want to achieve.
Right.
When you study people's lives, like if you watch telly and say, "Oh, Mick Jagger on the Rolling Stones is a frontman, he's rich, he's having a good time," you go and study when he started music in the 60s, and you realize he's done it for many years, consistently turning up in the studio, you know, and then you apply it to yourself.
So, men, find your niche and then go practice and develop it so you can then become the best version of you. See you guys on the other side.
Day by day, no more reaction. You are my center attraction. Every beat, my heartbeat is your song.
Hurt and harm, you're my protection. The path I take is your direction. 'Cause I know with you I can go wrong. Ever since that day I asked you into my heart, my world has changed, so promise me you'll never part. 'Cause I'm lost without you.
Easy to see,
I'm lost without you.
and there's no letting go.
So let me be the first to say,
I'm lost without you.
so don't ever go.
Go away. Say don't ever go away.
Pick me up those times I'm down. You make me laugh when there's no clown. No one else can love me like you do.
Heaven knows that I proclaim the love I feel when I hear your name. There's no substitution quite the same. Now some say I'm crazy and I'm acting insane, but there's no life without you, so I just keep holding on.
So let me be the first to say
I'm lost without you. So don't ever go,
don't ever go.
go away. Now, go away. Yeah. Can you tell them about love?
Love is sweet and love is kind. Love will bring you peace of mind.
And how do you know?
But I tell you so. You won't ever go.
Oh no, he won't ever. Now that's what I love about him. That's what I love about him. Oh yeah. Hey, 'cause he won't ever go away. No, said he won't ever go away.
So, Dr. Wilson, just before we finish, I just want to ask you one final question. So, if there's a man out there that's been listening to today's show, wanted to show up just to be better, you know, what one advice would you say to him? He just is listening and he feels, oh my gosh, interesting, I really want to be better. Just one advice, what would you give him?
My advice will be, where possible, study your father. Study every single thing about him. His upbringing, his career, his attitude to work, his achievements, his failures. You study them and then run away from all the failures and run fast towards the achievements. That's what I'll say.
Having a good role model. I think that's what you're saying, and hopefully it should be your father.
Yes,
Yeah,
hopefully, if where it's possible.
Where it's possible.
Because sometimes you have no father to milk from. The advantage of a father who you've lived with is you know everything. And even the faults, you understand the fault. So if he spends too much, you know what that means. So you need to study that behavior and make sure you run away from it, meaning you get frugal and extra careful with the family faults. If not, you'll be repeating it.
So, folks, that's it. Just thank you for listening to Men's Talk with Trevor Minto. So, see you again, same time next month, where we'll be discussing a different topic of interest for men. Bye.
Back when I was a child, before life removed all the innocence, my father would lift me high and dance with my mother and me, and then spin me around till I fell asleep. Then up the stairs he would carry me, and I knew for sure I was loved. If I could get another chance, another walk, another dance with him, I'd play a song that would never, ever end. How I'd love, love, love to dance with my father again. When I and my mother would disagree, to get my way I would run from her to him. to comfort me, yeah, yeah. Then finally make me do just what my mama said. Later that night when I was asleep, he left $1 under my sheet. Never dreamed that he would be gone from me. If I could steal one final glance, one final step, one final dance with him, I'd play a song that would never ever end. 'Cause I'd love, love, love to dance with my father again. Sometimes I'd listen outside her door, and I'd hear how my mother cried for him. I pray for her even more than me. I pray for her even more than me. I know I'm praying for much too much, but could you send back the only man she loved? I know you don't do it usually, but dear Lord, she's dying to dance with my father.